Hello and welcome to the Legends and Lads Cricket Podcast. I am Chirunandan Srinath, your host for this week. We couldn't have Vijay Lokapalli sir, Rakesh Rao sir, and Krishna Maitreya on the show, but uh, on today's show, for the first time ever, we are having a South African national on the podcast. Is a former South African Test cricketer, wicketkeeper, batsman, a Lancashire captain, and now coaching and mentoring new talent wave. So Dane Vilas has played across continents, 10,000 plus runs, 600 plus matches, and just stick around and listen to this podcast as we dive deep into his journey from Johannesburg to the world stage. Dane Vilas, thank you for coming to the podcast. Welcome to the show.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me and for the great intro. Cheapers. Didn't even realize that stuff, but thank you very much and it's great to be here.
So my first question is, yeah, you were a wicketkeeper batsman and you could make it to the world class stage and you played 6 test matches for South Africa. So for playing at an international level is definitely not easy. It comes with a lot of challenge. It comes with a lot of hard work and belief across years. So please tell us your inspiration from childhood and how your.
So I think, the inspiration is there because, you want to play cricket for your country. You want to play cricket at a high level and you want to do your best that you can in anything that you do. I was very fortunate that I was pretty good at cricket and managed to work my way through a couple of teams and absolutely loved it. Having the opportunity to play and travel the world and be part of some great teams was great. I don't think you need much more inspiration as a sports fan or a cricketer to get that and to do that. So it was great and I loved it. So yeah, it's been a great journey.
You also did play one T20I match against India. So any memories of that?
Yeah, that was incredible actually, playing at my home ground or my ex-home ground of the Wanderers, where I grew up watching legends play the game. Obviously watching South Africa and India play there a lot. So I was quite fortunate to play in that game. I think it was a Jacques Kallis and Sachin Tendulkar match. Unfortunately got rained out, but we won on Duckworth Lewis. So I'm going to say we had a series win against India, but we'll claim that, but it was interesting. But yeah, just for me, it was incredible to play with some legends, and play against some guys, like your Tim Dulkers and your Dhonies and all of those people who were there at that time was excellent and a great sort of learning curve and sort of dip my toe into international cricket, which was fantastic.
Yeah, and also as I was reading about you on the internet, I came across an incident where you had to replace uh, an injured Quinton de Kock, and you came into the Wanderers test against England after 45 minutes after the start of the match. So, can you please tell us how it felt to be called and how unexpected are these call-ups? So, like being a cricketer at that level, it also means that you need to be alert, you need to be prepared, and so please tell us about call-ups and
Yeah,
being
so that
prepared.
was really interesting because I was playing a 4-day game down in Port Elizabeth for my franchise team, the Cobras, domestic team, and got this call from the South African team manager, Doc Mohammed Musaji, early in the morning. And I don't know why he didn't. Obviously, I'd spoken to him before, but there was no reason for him to call me and chat. So, anyways, picked up the phone after the second ring, and he told me that I need to rush to the Wanderers. I need to get there because Quinton was injured and wouldn't be able to play the game. So that was me. So I was down in PE, which is a 2-hour flight from Durban. From Johannesburg. So rushed all the way there, told the coach, rushed to the airport, and then sat on the plane for 2 hours while my mind was racing, everything was happening. Got off straight away, had a police escort into the ground at the stadium, arrived there, and we were batting. And then, yeah, it was a crazy experience coming in there. to start a test match. Obviously not the prep and everything that you wanted, but yeah, who knows? It was an opportunity. So it was really really hectic and interesting at the time.
Yeah, and also you made a move to the county cricket. You signed that Kolpak deal. So in the hindsight now that you had captained Lancashire for a lot of years, for roughly 4 years, and you also were an interim head coach. So how do you reflect, this personal decision that you made in 2017?
I mean, it was a good decision for me at the time, and I still have no regrets with it. Obviously, I would have loved to have played more international cricket and done better on the international stage and done a few more things, but it just wasn't my time to be. I had a great opportunity to come and play at a great club in Lancashire. Um, and yeah, I think it proved very well. I mean, I had 7 really good years at Lancs and I loved each and every single one of them. Made some great friends, had a lot of good memories, and played some of the best cricket of my life, actually. So that was really cool. But then also giving my family the opportunity for us to move to England and be part of England and experience some of those things, which was great. So I was very fortunate to get this opportunity, and yeah, I think it was really good. So it's given me a few opportunities now to even stay in the game, involved in county cricket as a coach, which I loved last year at Middlesex. But yeah, just keep going and keep playing away and look for more opportunities now.
Yeah, and as I already mentioned that you were the captain of Lancashire County Club for roughly 4 years.
Yeah.
So if I want you to cut through the noise and tell us what actually a captain does on the field, apart from, like example, I'm a cricket captain and my team is struggling. How do I bring back, and motivate players and, bring the performance back to the team, like just like how you led Lancashire back to Division One in county cricket?
Yeah, I think as a captain, it's your job to keep the standards of the team, to set the sort of direction for where they want to go, and you have to be a leader who lives by those standards in that direction. You have to be someone who can't falter in any other way, and you've got to lead from the front. That's what I always believe in. And it's your job to keep people on course, for bowlers to bowl in certain areas and direction for the team, and as well as batters to make sure that they're doing the right thing for the team as well. But generally, you've got to keep everybody galvanized and working together in a change room and to have one clear direction where they want to head off and where they want to do, and keep those standards high.
Yeah, I'm sure when you captain for a county club, there might have been a lot of seniors in the team, people coming from different countries, from different regions. So how do you make yourself to be heard to, especially the senior players, not be disrespectful, but also, convey to them? And how do you manage conflicts if and when they arise?
Well, I think as it doesn't matter if you're a senior player or a young player, it doesn't matter who you are, you need to make sure that you're doing the right things for the team in order for the team to develop and do well. Obviously individuals want to do well for themselves, which is fine, but you're doing well as an individual for the team. So making sure that the best bowlers in the world, we had guys from, who else? We had Graham Onions and Jimmy Anderson who had played in Ashes and Test matches and everything. So making sure that those guys are leading the team in the right way and are being the main leaders at the forefront of those things. And then we had senior players in the batters, yeah, who had come down and played lots, from your Shivnarine Chandapals, who also played hundreds of test matches and done so well, but making sure that he's doing the right things for the team and getting the consistency of that as well. But we also, for me, it was all about making sure that the guys buy into what we want to do, because it's great work winning for your team and doing as well as you can, because it doesn't matter who you are. Each player in the team wants to win games. They want to win trophies for their team and for their county, for their franchise, for whatever. And in order to do that, they've got to do well in their own individual things, but they've also got to make sure that the team are doing that, because there's no point you doing well as an individual if the team's playing badly or not doing anything, because it's no fun. So making sure that again, as a captain, and that you're setting the standards and you're giving a clear direction where they want to go. And then dealing with conflict, it's about being open and honest, telling people honestly, because you have to address it straight away. Otherwise, it festers and builds up. But if you have a certain culture and a certain environment in the change room and the team, you have to live by that each and every single day, no matter who you are.
Yeah, following up that question, now as a captain, it your job naturally needs some communication. So when you need to convey to a particular player that he's dropped from the 11, so how do you convey to him? And does it get uncomfortable, especially if the players they don't take it in the right spirit?
Yeah, of course it gets uncomfortable. Nobody wants to be dropped. Everybody wants to play. So the thing that I've always lived by is, approaching the player, face on. I think the best is talking to a player face to face. The worst thing to do is get a text message or a phone call is really tough. But trying to speak to them face to face, but then also give them the honest truth. Just say, look, unfortunately, we didn't see there was a space in the team for you at this stage. It's got no reflection on who you are, what you're doing. It's just how the team is set up and what we're going to go for it. And then owning that and being truthful and honest in what you say, but then also giving clear direction of what's expected of that player to get into the team or where they are or what they need, I mean, it's very difficult. It is. It's hard and it's heartbreaking sometimes to do it. But I think honesty is the best way forward.
Yeah, and you had a career spanning 17 years in domestic cricket and all the first class cricket. So, uh, a lot of time you might need to change your techniques over the time to adapt to.
Yeah, I get it. So I think you're 100% right. You've got to change. You've got to adapt and you've got to keep on improving. I think as cricketers, you have to improve each and every single day. You have to up your skills because people find you out. And also your mindset, your body changes. So you've got to just keep on adapting, keep on improving and trying to get the best out of yourself as well. And I think that's what the best players still do. You've got to have a base of what you work with, but a few tweaks here and there can go a long way as well.
And also, you need to balance between your batting and also doing the captaincy duty. So, how do you balance, both contributing to the team, both individually as a batter and also as a team leader as a captain?
Yeah, you've got to separate that as well. But sometimes you have to, merge them together. Sometimes as a batter, or as a captain, I can't expect people to bat in a different way or different situations, and then I go and do something different. So I think you have to be consistent with your message and your performance of what you do. But then also realizing, again, it comes back to what does the team need from me? What do I need to do for this particular situation? Or what do I need to do as a player? And then what do I need to say and do as a leader?
And how does leadership change when a captain becomes a coach like you now?
I don't think it changes that much, actually. It changes from. It might change. See, for me, like as a player, it's easier to go and lead and show with how you play and your style of play. So if I say to you, I want you to bat in a certain way, and I go bat in that certain way, or stand up, or do things, I think that's a different reflective of a player leadership. Whereas a coach leadership is also, for me, is more servant leadership, where you try and do as much as you can for the player in order to get them better, give them all their information and everything they need. But again, keep your honesty and just keep learning and keep helping them to find their style as well. So it changes a little bit, but fundamentally, the other side of leadership, the honesty, the empathy, the resilience, all that stuff, that doesn't change.
Also, you did mention about Jimmy Anderson when we started this show. Now, I mean, I admit that Jimmy Anderson is one of my, or I would rather say my only role model when it
Mm.
comes to playing cricket. So, for a long time, I had him on my wallpaper, on my
Okay.
desktop wallpaper, and I admire him a lot. So, you were captaining Jimmy Anderson at some point,
Mm.
and so few words about Anderson and as a player, he makes your job easier when he starts taking those wickets. So,
Yeah, I
talk
mean,
about him.
look, he's an incredible player and he's a really great guy. I think he's a little bit misunderstood sometimes with who he is, but he's great. I loved working with him. Um, And I think he's such an asset to have as a captain. You know, I knew exactly what I was going to get from him every time I threw him the ball and asked him to do something. He would do it, and he's got that great. He's got such a great skill set that he can do what is needed. I think also, you know, the amount of cricket he's played and where he's been, he is so attuned to what the team needs and what the situation requires. So I think he's got a great skill set and an incredible player, an incredible bowler, you know.
Yeah, and now that you made it to the top level, you played 6 international matches, and you were in the domestic circuit of England for a long time. So, but when you first donned South African colours in that the test colours, so what were you feeling back then, looking at your younger self who didn't give up? And can you make us feel what a player goes through on his debut match at an international level? Like, there is pressure. I mean, there's a lot of crowd. There is a pressure for you to perform, and also I me myself playing for a college match, representing my team when I was a first undergraduate student last year. I think had a lot of fear when I was bowling my first ball, because
Mm.
everyone were cheering, and I think that hardly the supporters were around 10, 20, and that made me fear a lot. But playing an international game, you would have had thousands and hundreds of people in the stadium. So how does it feel to make a debut?
I think, yeah, obviously that it is nerve wracking and it's exciting and it's all of those things. For me, I don't think it changes if you've got 10 people or you've got 10,000 people in the stadium. It's all about your internal expectations of yourself. So, what you want to do, because obviously, you know, when you're bowling a ball and, you know, you just want to do as well as you can, you're going to be nervous no matter what, if there's, again, 10 or 10,000 people. So, you know, it's your own expectations of yourself and internally what it is. Obviously, with the test match and international game, the stuff around it is ramped up a lot more, and you've got a lot bit more time to think, and there's a lot more focus and stuff on you. So, yeah, I don't think you can describe it. It's something that you have to feel or be part of, because it's an exciting time, it's an exhilarating time, but it's a hell of a nerve-wracking time as well for anybody making their debut. In no matter what format you play, it could be test match, it could be your first class game, it could be your first club game. So there's always going to be that nerve, that expectation, that excitement, and then once you get used to that a little bit, um, I don't think it ever calms down. I mean, it never calmed down for me. And that feeling and that high. But I think it's just more internally that expectations was the hectic part. But loved it. I loved it and I hated it at the same time.
Uh, Now that you said that it never calmed down for you, uh, like I can feel you when you said that, because, for example, yesterday I was having a tough time here, and internally I wasn't okay. My body felt something, felt some anxiety and that stuff. So I also had to sit down and make questions for this interview. So I think
Mm.
uh, it took me a lot of time to tell my body to calm down, and
Yes.
also ask my mind to, come on, let's sit down calmly and do this work. I thought I would go have a shower and come back. That didn't help. I thought I'd listen to music. That didn't help. But
Mm,
eventually, when I
mm,
started
mm, mm.
watching a bit of cricket, I think that helped me a bit, and then I sat down and
Okay.
wrote questions.
Cool.
uh, Okay, and also talking about cricket, it has been like, though I don't pursue it professionally, sometimes when I'm having a tough day, or something that I'm facing personally, I would always return to cricket every day, in the evenings, and that took off a lot of stress for me. Recently, I was going through something. I didn't believe myself that I actually didn't play cricket for 8 long months, proper cricket for 8 long months, and I had put on a little weight, and it was for me a little overwhelming, because a lot of things happening in my personal life, and that felt like choking me. And then I think last week I started going to the ground every single day, and a lot of change from what the previous weeks had for me. So. Uh, Talking about cricket as a life changing, in the sense how it can change and lift moods, and
Mm.
you pursue it professionally, so there is, when you pursue it professionally, you also have that stress to perform, but also how do you manage to balance that cricket as a passion and pressure? Okay,
Look, I think it's very difficult, but you've got to try and separate the things as well if you can. Um, I think for me, I've always had a good family around me. I'm very fortunate to have a really good network. I mean, my wife and my parents, my brothers, all of them have been very supportive along the way. So whenever I come home to my wife, she was, we would talk a little bit about cricket if we wanted to. We wouldn't talk about it, but we would just get back to normal family life, which is incredible to separate that as well. Because obviously, as a player, you're not always defined by your cricket. It's hard to see that while you're in it, you are. But you've also got a life outside of it as well. And I think that's important to do that. So understanding that you play cricket for a reason, and it took me a while to figure that out. I mean, I started playing cricket because I loved it, and I still love it to this day. But then at times when I put a little bit too much pressure on myself to do other things and focus on it as a job, you lose that love and you lose that passion, and you lose the why you play it. So coming back to that has always been Reddit. So you know what? It's a game, and it's a game you love and play, and you want to do as well as you can. So making sure that you just focus on that, but having good people around you helps a huge amount.
and every South African cricketer of your generation grew up watching IPL, and now that IPL edition is going on, uh,
Hmm.
IPL and other T20 leagues have changed the landscape of cricket now. So, were you anytime closer to any IPL contract, and if you would have wished, which team would you have thought of playing?
Yeah, I think, I mean, it's hard to say. There were many times where I've spoken to coaches who were very keen to say they might pick me up in the auction or they might do that. Um, but yeah, I mean, I would have loved to play for anyone, really. I don't know why I had an affiliation to Royal Challengers. I like that sort of place early
I'm
back
an
in the
RCB
day.
fan.
RCB, I love the RCB. Obviously, like Virat and AB and those guys, Chris Gale, it just like really resonates with me, which is incredible. The Rajasthan Royals, I was lucky enough to play for them in the SA20 for the Pole Royals, so maybe them would have been quite nice. But yeah, I think all RPL teams I love and watching, and I think it would have been great to play in that. Unfortunately, I didn't. But yeah, maybe my time will come to coach. Hopefully.
Yeah. So,
Mm.
yeah, you talked about AB. I'm a big fan of him from my childhood. So, I think I'll actually show you at the end of this podcast. I think when I was 15 years old, I had drawn,
Hmm.
that famous shot that he played in 2015. So, I think I'll show that to you.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Uh, so, my next question to you is, right, when I was playing last year for my house in the college, like there were a lot of things that I picked up
Mhm.
from my seniors. I'm a fast bowler basically, so some techniques that I learned off cutter from one of my senior, and a lot of things that you learn from people around you. So how did you keep updating your skill set, and from whom all you think you have gathered the
I think
skills
it's
from?
just from working with people. It's throwing balls to people, working with different people, and taking as much information from them, understanding what works for you, what doesn't, and then just practice hard, man. Make the most out of it while you can. So I was always a firm believer in hard practice and getting the most out of my training and my body. So yeah, I think hard work. You can't beat hard work and dedication. I think.
Yeah, you did talk about. I mean, we give credits to the hard work, and hard work pays off in the long term. But there are sometimes when especially sports people, they have those rough patches. I've seen some of the greatest cricketers have that. Example, Virat Kohli, that rough patch that he had from 2019 to 2022.
Mhm.
He simply couldn't score a century, and even in the IPL, he was getting out very quickly. So,
Mhm.
how do a sports person go through that kind of a phase, a drought phase like that, not getting runs? Uh, so
Yeah, it's
he might be working hard in the nets. He might be confident in the practice sessions, but how does it happen, and how does a player go through this?
well, I think everybody goes through that. It's just a lot of the times it's a mental thing. It's got nothing to do with your style of play, who you are, whatever. Um, it's a mental thing about believing and trusting in the process. All those easy cliches to say now when you're going through it, but yeah, I think just believing that if you do the hard work, things will change. I also believe if you do the right things and you're doing the work, luck will find you. I think in cricket, in sport, you need a little bit of luck as you go. And if you're doing the hard work, then maybe Mother Cricket looks after you, and things like that. You need a bit of luck along the way. So it's just about trusting the process, making sure you're doing those things, and knowing that if you don't give up, things will work out in the end. Always believe that.
Yeah. So my next question to you is, I'm sure you might be following this year's IPL, and a lot of flat tracks and people scoring 200 every single time, 220 to 240, sometimes 260, and we saw even 264 being chased a few weeks ago.
Yes.
So, uh, for me, as a player, I have actually stopped watching some of the IPL matches. I only follow RCB matches and some interesting teams because it's becoming boring for me. Because I liked the times when 140 was defendable, 160 was defendable. That was true cricket for me. So, your opinion on T20 cricket becoming like this?
Yeah, I don't like those hectic scores. I mean, it's great every now and again, but not every single game. Um, I still feel there needs to be a contest between bat and ball, and there needs to be something where bowlers can get something out of the game, or even batters. Batters can get, because it takes away the skill of batting, and the art of scoring runs. Where if you just go and whack it, it's great fun to hit sixes. Don't get me wrong, but there's no real achievement in that. So I think you really got to focus on making the game competitive and play and doing that. Otherwise, you might as well just put a bowling machine up on a wicket and play on a AstroTurf wicket. So I think there needs to be a good challenge and a good mix for players and people to go and enjoy the game. I mean, maybe it's different for the true cricket fans who want to see, like yourself, who understand maybe, but also it's great for the guys who are just coming to a game to see that score being chased. So it's a bit of a mix. So are you finding out, is it an entertainment thing or is it a true cricket performance, if that makes sense?
Yeah. So, are you an aggressive player or a calm person in the mind? Like I've read article. Yeah.
Yeah. You've read an article. Okay.
I've read articles how sports people, some of them, they create that fake anger in them and then channelize it and become aggressive on the field and put on their best performance on the field.
No, I think I'm pretty aggressive, not overly aggressive in a way. I mean, I'm very competitive. I like to
Maybe
win in the
aggressive
match.
but not animated.
Yeah, I think I'm very competitive. I like to win and do well, but I'll never do compromise any of my beliefs or anything to win. But I'll challenge myself as much as possible and do as well as I can. Um, yeah, hopefully I'm not too aggressive or too nasty in a way. But yeah, maybe just more competitive is the right way.
Yeah. Some advice that you would give to an aspiring wicketkeeper batter.
Work hard. Try your best. Um, don't get too fixated on trying to be perfect. I think a lot of people in these days think they have to be perfect in a way. But just do the hard work, and also know as a wicketkeeper batter, it's hard to make it because you have to get lucky, and it's all about timing and stuff. So just keep believing in the process and keep working hard, and if you do that, then something will follow.
Yeah. Thank you, Dane Vilas, for coming to the Legends and Lads Cricket podcast. It was a honor to host you on this show. Uh,
Thank you.
Hope you enjoyed.
I loved it. Thank you very much.